Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Top Notch by 99% Sneaky. If you would like to try solving this puzzle for yourself, it'll be the first link in the description. Okay, let's have a look at the rules. Normal sudoku rules apply, so we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every box. Digits along purple lines form non-repeating consecutive set. So, if this were a 1, then these two would be a 2 and a 3 in some order to form a consecutive set. Digits in large white circles appear once in the 4 surrounding cells. So around this circle there is a 5 and a 9. Digits in cages sum to the small number printed in the corner, so those two sum to 13. Any two cells which are in the same relative position within their respective 3x3 boxes must contain different digits. For example, if 7 were placed in the top left corner of box 1, then no other boxes could have a 7 in their top left corner. So what that means is I can't have any repeats in those 9 digits. And these are all in the same relative position in their box, so I can't have any repeats in those 9 digits. Okay, I am going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Alright, so I am immediately drawn to all of these remband lines, because we can't have, there are 3 cells there, 3 positions that can't have any repeats because of the just disjoint set rule. So, what does that mean? That means in this set of 9 digits, there is a 1. And that means that one of these remband lines, the one that has that 1 on it, must be a 1, 2, 3 remband. This set also has a 1 in it. And that means that that remband is also a 1, 2, 3 set. And likewise, one of these 9 digits is a 1, and so there will be a 1, 2, 3 set there. Not just that, but for each of those 1, 2, 3 sets, the 2 and the 3 also don't repeat in their respective positions. So what that means is that by the time I found where all the 1s, 2s, 3s, 3 renbands go, that is all the places that can have a 1, 2, 3 on a renband. Now, I can make the same argument for 9s, that each of those 3 sets I showed is going to have 1 9 in, and the 3 renbands that have that 1 9 are going to be 9, 8, 7 renbands. That's the only way they can work. And, likewise, the 8 and the 7 will also consume all 3 of these relative locations between them. So that means that all of the 9s, 8s, and 7s will be placed. Therefore, the last 3 remaining renbands must be 4, 5, and 6, because that's the only digits that are left. Okay, so armed with that knowledge, how do we proceed? Well, I can't put a 1 or a 9 on here, so that must be a 4, 5, or 6. I can't put a 4 or an 8 on here. This must be 1, 2, or 3. I guess I'll leave that one for now. I'll leave that one. 3 and 7 can't go on here, so I can't have a 1, 2, 3, or 7, 8, 9, so that's a 4, 5, 6. This must be a 1, 2, or 3, because the 5 and the 9 are here and not here. This does not have 6 or 7 on it, so that must be a 1, 2, 3, and I think that's my third 1, 2, 3. It is. Skip this one. This has 2 and 8, that are not on the round band, so this must be a 4, 5, 6. And that leaves us with 3 round bands that are 7, 8, and 9. Okay, that is a good start. Okay, this 13 cage can be made with 9, 4, 8, 5, or 7, 6. And I can't put 9, 8, or 7 here, so that must be 7, 8, 9 here, and that is 4, 5, 6 here. And that gives us 4, 5, 6 in the row. Okay, so I can't put 4, 5, or 6 here, and I can't put 1, 2, or 3 here, so this must be 7, 8, or 9, and that makes this 1, 2, or 3. And then I need one more 1, 2, and 3 in this row, so that's 1, 2, or 3, and that's 7, 8, or 9. Okay, this 8 cage. It has 1, 7, 2, 6, or 3, 5. Well, that can't be the 1, 2, or 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then this is 5, 6, or 7. But that's my 1s, 2s, and 3s for the row. This can't be 7, 8, 9, and it can't be 1, 2, 3, so that's from 4, 5, or 6. 4, 5, and 6 with a 9 means this would be 3, 4, or 5, but I can't put 4 or 5 here. So that is 3. That is 6. That removes 6 from there, gives me a 6 here. This now must be 7, 8, 9. That's the third 7, 8, 9 in the row. This is now 1, 2, or 3. Can't be 3 by sudoku, so that's not a 3, and that's not a 7. That means that one of these two is a 7, and that one isn't. Okay, that 3 is looking up there, so that's not a 3, and that's not 7. Okay, this 6 is in the top left corner of its box, so this can't be a 6. And if that's not a 6 summing to 13, then that's not a 7. Okay, that gives me an 8, 9 pair in this column. It gives me an 8, 9 pair in the row. It also gives me an 8, 9 pair in the disjoint. So no other bottom left corner can be an 8 or a 9. All right, so I have a 6 by sudoku in one of those two. That 6 there means that that is not a 6. So one of those two is a 6. Yep, that makes sense. We've already eliminated 6 from there. Nine is in one of those three, so in particular it's not there. So that's not a 9, that's not a 1. That's not a 9, so one of those two is a 9, and therefore that is not. Okay. Where else to look? There's a 1 and a 9 in those. Are any of those ruled out? I don't see it yet. That could be the 5 with a 3 there, or 5 is in one of those. Um, this 3 makes this a 2. Because they're in the same relative location in their boxes. So that makes that an 8. That means that those are not 8, and that one is. That gives me an 8 in one of those two. That means I have an 8 up here by sudoku, but this 4-8 quadruple means it's limited to those two cells. Okay. Is that 2 doing any work? Bottom left, it is. That's a 1. And so that is 9. That makes this 8. And this 5 to make 13. This is now 9. And this is 1 to make 10. So this must be where the 8 goes. And that's not an 8. I have an 8 in one of those two. This 8 means that that's not 8, so that's a 9. Where next? The disjoint set is powerful, but it can also be hard to scan. All right, this 2 is looking down here, so that's not a, that's not a 2, so that's not 6. This 1 is looking across there, that's not 1, so that is. That means that by sudoku, 3 is in one of those two. Four is in one of these two cells. That does allow me to eliminate 4 from there. And in fact, this 5 means that I can eliminate 5 from there. So that's a 6. That's now the only place for 4 in the row. That gives me a 5 there. That 4 is looking by disjoint over here. So that's a 5 and that's a 4. That 4 and that 4 eliminate 4s from both of those, making that 4, wrong type of pencil mark, there we go, and that 6 makes this a 5. All right. Okay, there is definitely a 7 in one of those two, and there is definitely a 7 in one of those two. Therefore, those two positions cannot have 7 in any other box. So those are not 7s, and that one is. And that actually gives me a 7, 8, 9 triple in the top right, but that's not in both of those cells, but that's not going to affect anything else, I don't think. I think they've already done all their work. Okay. Disjoint sets. Where do I need to look next? That one makes this a 3, which makes this 5. That 3 eliminates 3 from there, making that a 3. That 3 means that that is not a 3. That 1 means that's not a 1, so that's a 2. Seven is here or here. 4 is here or here. 2 in this row. It's not there, not there, that must be there. So now 7 in this row must be here, and this must be a 4. Okay. I need a 9 there, and it can't be there by this 9 or there by that 9, so this is a 9. That can't be a 1, so this is a 1. These two digits are between them 3 and 7, and I know the order. Okay, that places a 3 there. By sudoku, one of those two is a 4. In fact, this column needs 2, 4, and 5. That can't be 2 or 4. Sorry, that can't be 4 or 5, so that's 2. And this is a 4-5 pair. That 5 sees that that's a 4 and that's a 5. Okay. I need a 7 in one of those two. That makes this an 8. That means that that's not an 8 and this is. This is a 7. Sorry about that. This is in fact 7 and 9. I don't obviously see the order on those just yet. These 3 are 1, 2, and 3. That is not 2. That is not 3. But that, why did I remove a 3 there? That's better. That gives me a 1-3 pair, making this a 6. And this is now 4-5, and I do know the order. All right. So 5 is now in one of those two, but not that one. So that's a 5. 1, 3, and 6 to go in. Well, those aren't 3, so that's a 3. That is a 1-6 pair. I don't see an obvious problem with that just yet. These 3 digits are 2, 4, and 6. So that's the 2. That is 4 and 6. And that 4 tells me that that's a 6. That's the 4. And helps if I type that correctly. 6 and 7 go down in this column. And is there a... No, I don't see anything to resolve that just yet. Oh, yes, I do. That has to be the 6. That's the 7. All right, so these are 4, 5, and 8. So that's the 4. We get 5 there and 8 there. 7 is looking down here for a 9 and a 7. 1 is looking down for a 2 and a 1. That 9 looks up here for an 8 there and a 9 there. This 1 makes this 3 and this 1. It gives me a 1 here, a 2 there, and a 3 there. This 3 is looking down, gives me a 2 there, a 3 there. These two digits are 4 and 9, which I know the order of because of that 4 in that row. That looks across to give me the 7 and 9 resolved. This digit here must be something that doesn't make sense. I have made a mistake. Okay. That was my mistake. I put a 9 there, and I said I was putting a 4 there, but in fact I put a 9 there. Okay, that looks better. Yep. So that's a 7 or a 9, and the 9 is looking down, so that's a 7. That does in fact resolve the 7 and the 9. I still need a 9 around this circle, which by sudoku must go there. That means that this is a 6 to fill the box and the row. That 6 looks up for a 1 here, a 6 here. And then we should be finishing off 2 and 8 can't go there. So these are 2 and 8, which I know the order of. And then I get a 1 and a 7 here in that order. And that was a really fun puzzle. Spotting that break-in is can be a little tricky if you're not used to the disjoint sets. But yeah, no, that was really well done, and I think that the break-in was nicely telegraphed with these rem bands. Well, if you enjoyed this solve, please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see some more, and I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.